Good day, family, and all praise to our Father, the Almighty Creator of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It was put on me to upload this video, and in the video, I say that I was told to call the pastor. Now, us walking in the lives that we're walking now, we know that we don't call pastors, we call on the Almighty Creator. I'll give you a little backstory. My queen and I have been together for years, and we were going through a phase towards the end where she was always reading the Bible and I was always doing evil things, partying, going out, and we were at a crossroads because she did not want to do the things that I wanted to do anymore. So we were studying together, and I wasn't retaining much of it, but we were studying together and we were watching videos. Now, in the beginning of this video, I say that I was told to call a pastor. The thing that I didn't tell anyone was the pastor that I called was Pastor Dow. I was told to call a pastor, and the reason why I was told to call him was so the Almighty could show me that I'm not supposed to be with him. Now, I was watching Pastor Dow because he's ex-military like myself. He says he's proficient in firearms and all that other stuff, and that back then was right up my alley. So the Almighty showed me within probably 2 days that Pastor Dow was not the one to be joining up with. So shortly after that, I had got in touch with the local Purple Power Ranger where I live in Colorado. And within a couple of days, the Almighty showed me that I was not supposed to be with the Purple Power Rangers. So when I say I was told to call a pastor, that was part of a learning experience that I had to experience for myself. I had to see it for my own eyes. But I'm going to play this video, and I believe that this is also going to tie into the video that I'm making that has to do with possessions or attachments. So, without further ado, here's the video. Hello, everyone. I wanted to put this video up. An event happened to me on New Year's Eve day, and I was told to put this video up. You'll know after a minute here who told me to put this video up. About me, I am a disabled Navy vet. I am a ex-Satanist. Up until New Year's Eve day, I would speak to Lucifer on the daily. The people that really knew me knew how deep I was into it. Other people, I wasn't afraid, ashamed, or anything. I would tell them straight up I was a Satanist. And people would just look at me, whatever, you're too nice. And, they didn't know. I'm ashamed now after, what happened to me. Basically, what happened, it was New Year's Eve day in the afternoon, and I was talking to my wife, and I was pacing back and forth, from my wood-burning stove to my sliding glass doors, and there was a wasp not laying on the ground. He was alive, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that's weird. It shouldn't be here. There's a foot of snow outside. It's cold in here, a little bit chilly. So I called my wife over. She looked at it, and then all of a sudden, I got this. Something told me to kill it.
Okay, and usually whenever I find critters here in the house, I just throw them outside, poisonous spiders, whatever. Um, Everything has its purpose, and I was told to kill this wasp. So I killed it, and then all of a sudden I got this funny, weird feeling, and I'd never experienced it before. I didn't know what was going on. Sat down on the couch, and I'm talking to my wife, and then all of a sudden, um, I was lifted up through my roof, and I was taken to another part of the world. I don't know where it was, but my mind is trying to process this because I know that it should not be happening. It wasn't an astral projection. I've done astral projections. I can, not at will, but I can do them pretty frequently, and they're evil, by the way. Um, it wasn't an astral projection. It wasn't a flashback, nothing like that. And so I'm looking at this. It's either a comet that it came down or a volcano that it exploded, and all I saw was the tail of it, the fire trail behind it, and it was huge. It was like acres wide. It was enormous. So, like I said, it was either a volcano that exploded or it was a meteor that had come and hit the earth. So I was taken from that, and I was flown, whisked, carried, whatever you want to call it, and to another place. And I'm looking down, and on the ground, fire is rolling like water. It's just fluid. I've never seen fire like this before. Everything on the earth that it touched burned, caught fire, and it was not. I mean, it was crazy. I've never seen anything like that before. So I was put back into my body, and I started crying, and I just started praying right there. I'd never experienced anything like that before. It was so strong. I can't put it in words. So the Father showed me where I picked up my demon. I've had a demon with me all my life. When I was 8 years old, I had a friend staying the night at my house, and I don't remember it, but he said that I sat up in bed and spoke to him in another language. The only thing I remember is him like screaming and running out of my house at like 4. It was still dark, like 4 or 5 in the morning, and running home. And the Father told me that when that happened, it scared me, and I told the demon, "You can stay, but don't hurt me." And that demon has guided me all my life. And I am like just ashamed of, just thinking back on the things that I've done. Anyway, so he's showing me all these things. The Father's showing me all these things, and I am thinking that I'm having a seizure, a stroke, something. And he tells me, you're not having a stroke, you're not having a seizure, you're fine. Call a pastor, reach out to someone. So I put in a call for a pastor. I got a call the next day, told him what was going on with me. Excuse me. Told him what was going on with me. First thing out of his mouth is hallelujah. And I didn't see that as a hallelujah moment, because I did not know how to process what was happening to me, because everything changed after that. He said that they get at least a call a week from someone going through what I went through, and the Father is waking up a lot of people right now. The Father told me that I was one of the chosen. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm sure He will let me know when it's time. But yeah, so that was with the pastor. there's other people out there being woken up. I wish I could talk to a couple of them to see how they're handling and what they're doing. But the Father told me I needed to fast, and I'd never fasted before. So I just started fasting. And he told me that I need to go up into the forest. So I live up in the mountains, and I'm like a minute away from National Forest. So I hopped in my car, drove up to National Forest, and start walking. So I'm walking, and I asked the Father, I'm like, give me a sign. Where am I going? Where am I going? What am I doing? What's wrong with me? Why me? And I look down, and there is a bug walking in the snow like it's nothing, like it's summertime. So I took a picture of it because that's not natural. And I knew that I didn't know, I knew my wife would believe me, but anyone else that I told about this bug walking around in the snow, they, they wouldn't, they'd think that I was just tripping or whatever. So I took that as a sign. I kept walking. Keep walking, keep walking. Snow's almost up to my knee. And I asked the Father for another sign. And I look up ahead at this clearing, and there's something sticking out of the snow. So I walk up to it, and it's a wasp nest. And then my mind goes into overdrive because now I'm like, okay, I don't believe in coincidence. So I kept walking. This hawk flew and landed in the tree in front of me, like 40 feet in front of me. And there's something sticking out of the snow. So they wouldn't, they'd think that I was just tripping or whatever. So I took that as a sign. I kept walking. Keep walking, keep walking. Snow's almost up to my knee. And I asked the Father for another sign. And I look up ahead at this clearing, and there's something sticking out of the snow. So I walk up to it, and it's a wasp nest. And then my mind goes into overdrive because now I'm like, okay, I don't believe in coincidence. So I kept walking. Came up to this ravine, and I could either go left, right, or cross it. Father, which way do I go? This hawk flew and landed in the tree in front of me, like 40 feet in front of me. And it was like the most beautiful hawk I'd ever seen. I'd never seen one like it. And I've been looking for one like it, and I haven't found one. It was black, gray, and white. And it was almost like an owl, but it was a hawk. So I kept walking. I finally get to this rock outcrop at the top of the mountain, and he says, "You're here. Pray." So I started praying like I've never prayed before. I didn't even know how to properly pray. Anyway, start praying, asking for forgiveness for my sins. I repented like I've never, ever done before. And he told me I need to go to the forest. So me being a survivalist, I look around to look where I can build a shelter because I can camp in the winter. Build a little lean-to and look at the spot firewood and all that other stuff. He tells me I can go home. So I go home, and I start talking. Something divine was talking through me. I was using words that I'd never used before. I was talking or speaking in a manner that I normally didn't speak. My wife started recording it, and she knew that I was having, I don't even know what they call it. The Father touched me. She started recording it, and I started saying things that I really didn't care about, like Philistines and just a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm researching that now, and to see, what is really why I said those things. But now it's like when I look at the Bible, when I look at the Father, the Most High, and I look at His Son, Yeshua, um, I look at it totally different now. He has taken away my vocabulary. Um, I don't cuss anymore, and it's not like I'm not trying. It's like the vocabulary is not there anymore, and that right there is a miracle. Everyone that I talk to that has known me for years, the first thing that they trip on is I'm not cussing, and he took my pride away also, and my arrogance, and now when I speak to people, um, I can listen, I can hear them. Another thing that happened is when I speak to people now, I can tell when I'm speaking to the person or if I'm speaking to something that's attached to them. And I know that sounds weird, I know that sounds crazy, um, but there was a while where I couldn't talk to other people. I mean, there was times when I would talk to people and it would actually scare me. And I don't get scared. I'm not scared of dying, nothing like that. I'm an adrenaline junkie, whitewater kayaking, downhill mountain biking, I snowboard. I'm not scared to die. But talking to people and knowing that I'm not talking to them, that freaked me out. And it still happens. I've just adapted to it. So now my vision on the Bible, I believe everything in the Bible. Anything that's wrong in the Bible is wrong with me. Before, with the Father, there were, all the people that are suffering and starving to death and all the homicides that are happening. With me, it's like I'm evil, or I was evil, but I would never ever let someone suffer the way people are suffering now, and I wanted no part of that. God. I don't use that word anymore. But the Father showed me why things are going on the way they are, and we're living in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's it, pretty much. This world is so evil now. It's insane. He's showing me things, all kinds of things, like GMOs. I've always tried to eat healthy, organic. The one thing that he showed me with GMOs, and there's only one other person that really got this, and he understood it, and he was religious. GMOs, it's not just the act of eating the GMO, it's the thing of it being a genetically modified organism, okay? And that's what it's called. But anytime man manipulates a living organism, it's an abomination. So you're pretty much eating abominations every time you eat GMOs. And I have a friend that's a scientist, and he's like, he tells me, there's cross-pollination and all that stuff. And if it happens in nature, I'm cool with it. But if it's manipulated by man, I'm not cool with it. So I used to eat beef and pork and all that stuff. Now I just eat fish and vegetables. Yeah, it's crazy. Another thing, he's taken my pride away. He's taken my arrogance away. And my mind used to always process things. Like, I could look at one of my guitars and wonder how this is made, how that's made. Now when I look at it, it's just a guitar. And, people will sit there and, meditate. Now, it's like I don't have to do anything. I can just sit and my mind is clear. My mind has never been like this before. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to just sit and not think. I thought everyone was the way I was as far as all the, just all the crap that goes on that's not the case. So I'm continuing with reading the Bible. The Father's continually showing me things, and the only thing I can say is something is going to happen. I'm not going to give a date because I don't know. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't know, but something's going to happen, and either people are going to have to make a choice. Either you can choose hell, or you can choose life, you know, eternal. I'm not going to go back to the way I was. Temptation is out there. I know my weaknesses. Um, but people need to start praying and repenting. Um, Something bad is going to happen. I don't know what. Like I said, don't know what, don't know when, but it's going to happen. And it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. And just be ready.
Rewind that.
Have a blessed day.